microphone, Tim. Tim, so despite that you've got a beard there, literally get it on your bottom lip because it's very quiet.
Okay, okay.
That's it, right, so you can sit down, mine, there you go. Right, now Tim here is a guy who I've got, so see yourself down there. Right, Fuzz, I'm going to come over there. We've got a few minutes to get the best out of this guy, because if there's somebody on the planet who knows more about cars necessarily, well, there's more about the automotive industry than we do, it's you. You're obsessed with cars, very much like we are, but you've drilled into it, and you've gone like a pit bull, particularly in insurance companies, right?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Okay, right, let's just in 30 seconds, Tim, because so many people talk to us about cars, and owning a car is lovely, but it's not just owning the car, you've got to insure it, if you damage it, you want to make a claim on the insurance. So many people get ripped off all the time and don't go about it the right way. Can you offer some advice for people, just generic advice for anyone who has a classic car, how they can protect themselves from such things happening?
Well, there's a number of ways of doing it. The first way is to actually make sure you insure the car correctly at start.
Literally touch it on the button, that's it.
Yeah, you need to make sure you need to actually start the right place and actually insure your car correctly at the start.
Yeah.
Now, a way to do that is basically either get an agreed valuation on the vehicle before you start to insure it.
Right.
But there's also another way of doing it as well. So if you actually invest more in the car than what it's worth, there's an insurance policy called a reinstatement policy. Now what that does is, you can actually insure the sum of money you've invested in the car rather than the actual car itself.
Okay, so basically this is something that you've got to ask for up front. This is something you've got to ask for up front when you're actually insuring your car. And,
Yeah.
And do all insurers have to offer this?
No, so this actual type of policy is really, really rare. So unless you're aware of it, the chances of you finding it are pretty slim. So having knowledge that this type of policy is out there is a really valuable tool. Because the amount of people that, in the cars that you've done on the show, the amount of money you put into them, compared to what it might be worth in the marketplace price and that, is, there's quite a big difference in that investment there. So knowing that you can insure that sum of money for the work you put into it, it then means that in the event of some type of loss, because it's generally something that you're loving, or it's got some type of family relationship to it, it might be your parents or something, that you can protect that right at the very start.
Right, okay, so
basically what it is, if you have a classic car and you're or a car, you're in any form of trouble with any insurance company anywhere on the planet, speak to the man here. He's like a knife just dug straight into the heart of the insurance companies. Let's be honest, they hate this man. It's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, the best of friends, I think, is the fair thing to say with it.
You know when you get an insurance company and it says, have you read, and you know when they're on the phone going, you're like, I didn't hear any of this, and they go, did you hear that, Tim? And I'm like, yes, I did, and then you've agreed to this contract. You're the man who reads all that stuff.
Yes, but not only do I read the contracts, I actually look at all the regulations by which insurance companies need to abide by. So what you've got is that insurance companies generally, when they're treating you as part of the claim, they want to do what's in their best interest, not in your interest. So being empowered and knowledgeable prior to making a claim is the most valuable thing you can do. So, I mean, my company's called Motorclaimguru. I suggest you go to the website and have a look at it before you ever need to make a claim. All the information on there is for free, but having that knowledge and challenging your insurance company before you actually make a claim is a really, really valuable thing. So also things like having the knowledge that you can choose where you want your car to be repaired, to make sure that car's being repaired correctly. And also, if they're turning around to you and saying that the vehicle might be a total loss because they believe that the repair costs plus what the salvage value might be worth would make it an economic total loss, it's not necessarily the case. I mean, what it can actually do is insist on the vehicle being repaired up to the market value, which again is not something most people know.
I put a deposit on a car. I put a deposit on a car a couple of weeks ago. You don't know the story, and it was up in Bolton, and it was a crash damaged car. I'm that guy that buys Cat E, Cat S,
you always
I
buy
always
crash
buy
damaged
that.
cars.
I feel sorry for broken down cars. Part of the job. You look at one that's like, oh, you should be on the road. I'll buy you. I'll fix you. So I always do that. All my cars are always Cat C, Cat D, Cat N, Cat S, whatever. And I rang Tim and I was like, Tim, can you come up and look at this car? So we walk into this place and there's this Panamera there. It's an old Panamera and I was like, I really want this car. So Tim went in there and there were these guys there. The deal was pretty much done. You're savage. He gets there with the outcomes are computed. He walks straight up to these big guys and goes, that shouldn't be a Cat N. That should be a right, or a Cat S. It's this, that, and it went absolutely brutal on these guys. So here's the point I'm making. If you ever have any problems with any cars, whether you're buying or selling a car, whether you're, in terms of insurance, whatever it is, this is the man who comes to life when it means he can run rings around and have a go at insurance companies. That's you in it.
Thanks, yeah, it's just really important that consumers protect it, because when you're making a claim, you're dealing with like professional litigants who are used to making claims every day, whereas a layperson, as a consumer, you're in their hands, so it's a really, really important thing to make sure you're empowered. But if you don't have the knowledge, also to use somebody like me who can act on your behalf to assist you when you deal with an insurance company, again, there's some things where I do them for free because I sympathise with that situation. It might be a vehicle that is from a family member, I love it. But yeah, having that knowledge, don't be scared of challenging insurance companies because they only act in their interest and not in yours.
Yeah. So just to put it into context, for somebody who's been offered a certain amount of money by an insurance company, and we want the most you've ever got somebody back. Insurance, person has crashed or car is damaged. They get offered an amount by an insurance company, then they employ you. Give us the two difference, how much you've benefited somebody from working with you.
The most significant one I've had was actually on a horse box, and the insurance company was saying basically this vehicle had been vandalised and they wanted to write this vehicle off. So what they was trying to do was say the vehicle was worth 50 grand. It wasn't, yeah, and it was actually worth a lot more than that. It was actually worth about 115. And they said, well, you can buy the salvage off us and we'll pay out 25 grand. In the end, the way I worked it is I made them actually repair the vehicle or provide a cash and lose settlement, and the customer ended up getting £90,000. So they had the best part of 35 to 40 grand more than it starts off with. Generally with normal cars, you'll find insurance companies will value your cars probably about 15% less than market value, so there'll be a significant difference there. It can easily be 2 or 3 grand difference from where they offer you to where I can actually get up with it.
Okay, so the days of anyone feeling worried or concerned when you've had an accident, because there is that, am I going to get paid out? Did I tell them the truth? Is there some loophole somewhere? We don't want you guys having that concern. Tim is a lovely guy and he will look after you. Tim, where do people get hold of you?
So my website is www.motorclaimguru.co.uk. Like I said, there's tons of information on there. I've got 30,000 pages on my website, so it's a huge information resource. And it's 30,000, I know. I spent a long time blogging and doing things. It's like...
That is like an insurance document.
Almost, yeah.
All of mine seems like 30,000.
But rather than read all that information, there's magnifying glass, top right corner, search field. Anything you're not sure of, put it in there, search for it, and find it.
So
www.motorclaimguru.co.uk.
Motorclaimguru.co.uk,
yeah.
Okay, and I didn't know Tim was coming today, but when we saw him, I wanted to get him on stage so we could let you know what he does. He's here to protect you guys from your cars. It's simply that. Tim, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah. Cheers.
Give a round of applause. Right, I think that's done for our car SOS speech. Thank you very much. I think we're back on again shortly, though.
We'll be back on later. We've got loads of things happening, loads of people to interview. At some point later today, we'll be doing another Q&A session as well. So if there are any questions that you have for us, as juicy or difficult or awkward as you like, Tim will answer.